Jospeh Dana, who joins us now from Athens. He's an Israeli-American journalist with The Nation magazine. And you're going to get on the boat regardless of those warnings?
Yes, I plan to get on the boat and to complete my task the best that I can and objectively report exactly what I see taking place on the ships as we approach Gaza.
Let's just deal with the mechanics of it all. You know, there's two issues here. One, there's been a warning to journalists now for this one. Plus, you know what happened a year ago on the Mavi Marmara. Regardless of what anyone thinks about those events, you are effectively on warning. You know what could happen here.
I'm fully aware, and I have to be quite frank and say that I do fear for my safety in covering the flotilla. But I believe that this is an important international news story. And with the information that the Israeli government will be embedding its own journalists on Israeli Navy ships, as well as training IDF crews to photograph the passengers, I believe that it's of the utmost importance to provide both sides to the international press. Do
you fear, I mean, you said you're worried, do you fear another actual sort of Mavi Marmara style incident? The reason I'm asking is because the uproar was so huge last time. And, I mean, I'm wondering if you think Israel would do it again, basically.
I think that we have to take the statements of the Israeli government very seriously, and the Israeli government has said that it will use all and any diplomatic and military measures at its disposal to stop the flotilla ships from arriving in Gaza. I also think that the statements of the U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton that have basically green-lighted any sort of military action against the flotilla are very serious, and we have to prepare for the worst, which could be a repeat of last year's Mavi Marmara attack.
Could make it difficult for you personally, couldn't it? You're going on an American ship, is that right?
I am traveling on the American ship.
Okay, so you're on an American ship. You said your Secretary of State has effectively green-light any action against these ships. You're an American-Israeli citizen. This is very big for you, difficult.
It's absolutely difficult. I can't reiterate the fact that I'm quite fearful for my own personal safety, specifically because I am a journalist. I intend to be using the social network platform Twitter from the ship as much as I can, depending on whether or not the Israelis jam the satellite communications. And so I feel that I will be a target despite being clearly marked as press.
Interesting that the Israelis would choose to put us a specific press warning this time. On board the Mavi Marmara, I know I keep referring back to that, but that is the benchmark now, isn't it? On board last time were all sorts of people. There were journalists, there were human rights workers, there were just people who wanted to be part of it. This time specifically for journalists, why do you think?
I think that we are seeing an absolute last-ditch and panicked effort by the Israeli government to control the narrative of these flotilla ships. It's well known that activists on board the last year's flotilla recorded all of the events that took place, and Israel has confiscated and destroyed most of the footage. And so I think the Israeli government, specifically addressing journalists, is sending a message to the international community that Israel is going to, at all costs, control the narrative and control the story of these flotilla ships. Now, the fact that journalists have not wavered, I think, is a good sign for the international media and press freedom.
Just quickly, you're on an American ship, as we said. How many others are in this flotilla? What sort of numbers are getting ready there in Athens to go?
I would say that in my experience, there's roughly 200 to 300 passengers on board the 10 ships of the flotilla. On board the American ship specifically, we have 35 passengers, 11 journalists, myself included, and 5 crew members. And so we're talking almost 50 people specifically on the American ship.
Jospeh Dana, really interesting talking to you. We're going to follow this one closely. Thanks for talking to us.